Price.
Hello.
Guys, I'm gonna turn your video off for you, and then and we'll bring you back in as soon as we can.
Okay.
Jack, we have Julia Pierce that's trying to log in, but cannot.
Josh, I'm ready.
Oh, she stopped your video, you see.
Yes, that's okay. You said you would.
Bear with us for a moment.
Who's he? Who's
Jack,
that? President.
All right. Everybody know how to put themselves on mute? And we're stopping the video.
Yeah, don't see an icon for that.
It's on it should be in the right-hand corner of your picture. If you just move your cursor up there, you'll see unmute.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. All right. Is Michelle Nab on? All right. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. We're just going to have the agenda on here, and just real quick, and then we're going to call Corey's going to call the meeting to order. So just real quick, Corey's going to call the meeting to order. We're going to do some introductions. We're going to talk about the meeting process, how the voting is going to work. Corey's going to give a president's report. We're going to ask for nominations from the floor, and we're going to have the candidates who are running, including if anybody is nominated from the floor, give a 5-minute, up to 5 minutes of why they'd like to be a candidate, and then we're going to to adjourn the meeting around 2:30. So that's the intent of the meeting. Okay. So, Corey, I'll pass it over to you just to start off the meeting.
Okay. My name is Corey Claw. Presently, I'm the president of the Association Board of Directors, and call the meeting to order at 1:07 p.m.
Great. I'll do a couple introductions, just the First Service Associates. I'm Jack Baselli. I'm the president of First Service in Pennsylvania. I oversee the Pennsylvania operation. David Redinger is a regional director with First Service Residential, and Rebecca Sarnes is a regional director with First Service Residential.
I'm recording
Tamara
right now.
Burke,
No problem.
who was the community manager up to this week, has resigned.
Okay, no problem.
Her position effective Thursday. As of that time, Rebecca, who's again a regional director, is stepping in as the community manager at this point, and will be the main contact. And I believe everybody got a notification of that. But this is definitely a difficult time with COVID. We got involved about 2 weeks ago with regard to the meeting being held on the Saturday, and it was a great concept to try and get everybody together and try and get a quorum. Because I know this association has a hard time getting a quorum over time, at least for the first meeting. It's just that with all the increased cases of COVID, and it's just the risk and the reward just didn't seem like it was something that we wanted to do and put everybody potentially at risk. So it makes this process a little different than normal. So we know we're not going to attain a quorum today. We're going to be attaining a quorum via the directed proxies that we're going to receive. And we want to have everybody the opportunity to send their proxies in. So, we've sent out a number of email blasts with regard to the proxies. We've dropped off, I believe proxies and directed proxies were dropped off at people's doors. We're gonna do a phone blast to everybody else and try and ask them to forward their proxies in. So we're trying to get as many homeowners as we can to get their proxies in so we can attain a quorum. So if you sent in your proxy already and you hear the candidates today and you want to change your proxy vote, just resend that in and we'll keep track of it. Also, if you haven't sent it in, try and get all your proxies in by Wednesday the 18th at 5 p.m. We're receiving all the proxies, and we have a spreadsheet, and all that information is going to be forwarded to Stefan Richter, who's the association's attorney. He's going to validate everybody's proxy, and he's going to be the one that's officially tallying the votes of who's going to be elected, to this to the board. There's 3 board positions that are open, and there are 7 people at this point running, unless we get a nomination from the floor. So we're going to give all 7 candidates an opportunity to, again, talk to all the homeowners. So based on that, I think that the next part of the agenda really is to just have Corey just give a president's report, talk about some of the issues that the association's dealing with, has dealt with, we'll be working on in the near future, and I'll pass it off to you.
All right, thank you, Jack. As everybody's aware, there are issues going on here in our community involving the roof and the stairs. And as far as the roof goes, that is being handled by our attorney through litigation with the contractor. And once we get more information as to how it was proceeding, that information will be sent out to all the unit owners. We do want to recoup our money back so that we can put that back in our fund and we can have this roof done. As far as the stairs go, everyone's back from being displaced. Due to many setbacks from the borough and engineered designs that weren't accepted, that was accepted, then they weren't accepted through the borough inspectors. We finally got everything approved, and everyone now is back here at our community. The engineer, who is Rosen Engineering out of Conshohocken, they are designing the new stairs for both buildings. Once those are designed, and they'll be turned over to the inspectors, and when they're approved, then those designs will be put out for bid. And once the bids are out, then the engineer will then decide who is going to get the contract. The stairs are then going to be built and installed. Our goal is to have the work performed with the least possible disturbance to the residents. The walkways were put into the back of the Oaks and the Maple building, so when the stairs are going to be replaced, you still have access in and out of your unit, because they're going to be tearing them steps down and putting all new ones into place. We're going to try and do this in the shortest possible time span. We don't want this to drag out at all. So as soon as those plans are approved by the borough, that project is going to be well underway. The gas boilers are now all up and running. Each building has 5 units in it to supply heat and hot water. The other day, Maple building had a problem with hot water, and there was a leak in some of the pipes for storage heaters that we use, and that was shut down yesterday. And the plumber, Mario, he had redid all the pipes, and everything now is up and running. We did have a few issues over in the Oaks building, and that was basically airbound. And then there was a circulator that went out, and unfortunately it takes a little time till they could get parts for that. But everything there is up and running 100% for both buildings. We do have a thing I wanted to explain to a lot of unit owners, where questions have come up as far as people who are in arrears. A lot of unit owners really don't understand the process that the association has to go through to collect arrears from a unit owner. It could start out with a demand letter from a collection agency that First Services uses, and the unit owner has 30 days to respond. If they don't respond and they don't pay their condo dues, another letter gets sent out to them. By law, they must be notified twice. If they don't respond again, then it gets turned over to our attorney, Stefan Richter. He then sends out a letter, a demand letter, either pay in full or go on a payment plan. If they don't respond, then he has the right, he'll take you to the magistrate. So another 30 days could pass by. You could be up to 4 months without paying condo dues, and everyone else is paying for you to live here. Once it goes to the magistrate, you don't have to appear. You can have a judgment entered against you. Now you're still not paying your condo dues. Now you're into the 5th month. You have late charges, you have attorney's fees plus condo dues. Depending on what unit size you have, if you're a 3-bedroom, you could possibly be up to $3,000 in arrears and late fees and attorney's fees in a matter of 4 months. Then we have a right, we'll take you down to the courthouse. Again, you don't have to appear. They could have a judgment against you there. Then the attorney could come back and say, okay, we have 2 ways to go about. We'll either put a lien on your property, or we'll do a sheriff's sale. A sheriff's sale could take up to 90 days to get that accomplished. So now you're up to 8-9 months. When it's all said and done, and if you don't pay your mortgage and the bank takes over, we could only end up getting 6 months of arrears out of it once that unit's sold. We could be out thousands of dollars. So we do our best to try and get the arrears taken care of. We do have a limit. If you are 2 months or more in arrears, you will get a notice from the collection agency. A past board that we had here many, many years ago, and I know a lot of people who are on here were here at that period. That board left us in arrears of close to $300,000. It took us a while, but we got that under control. But we can't stop people from not paying. We can't force them every month by pounding on their door to pay your condo dues. We do have to follow the letter of the law. So when you see budget come out and it states in how much we're in arrears, we're fighting that tooth and nail to get that taken care of. But we must follow the letter of the law through the court system. We want to get the roofs done. We are solvent. We're not broke. We do have money to pay for all the stairs and everything. We do have some more money there that we could get started on the roof and skylights. One thing that we had entertained that we can possibly do until litigation is done and find out what we get back from that is we could possibly get a line of credit from the bank to help pay for the roofs and get them done was one option. Instead of dragging this out with the courts and the litigation to find out whether or not we're getting anything back or what we're actually getting back. But we are going to get the roofs done as soon as possible. There was some people that commented about the pool. Pool's been in disarray for now probably 10 to 12 years due to a board that was on at that period. Band-Aids were just put on. Upkeep was not done to the inside of the pool or the deck around the pool. We've had contractors come in to give us estimates for a new filtration system, a new concrete deck around, and fix the inside of the pool and bring it up to regulation. And right now we're looking at anywhere from $125,000 to $150,000 just for the pool. That is actually at this moment, that's actually on the back burner, I hate to say, because we have all these other issues that we have to take care of. This is a good community. It's unfortunate that we had the wool pulled over our eyes as far as the issues that are going on here. We are diligently working to resolve those issues. And I've been here 22 years now, and I want to see this community flourish. And I know that we will come back from all of this. We've done it before. We will do it again. Thank you.
Corey, thank you for the update. The next part of the meeting is a nominations from the floor. So what I'll suggest is if anybody wants to nominate anybody, that they go to the chat, which is the little window at the bottom of your screen. It's like a little square there. It says chat, and type in if there's anybody that you would like to nominate for the board. Obviously, they would have to accept, but we'll just give you a moment or so. Just give another moment. All right. So the next part of the meeting would be for the candidates to have 5 minutes to explain why they like to be considered for the board. Just going down the proxy was David Del Ciato, and David's I understand he's not on this meeting. Francesca Buffa is the next person, and so Francesca, I'm going to find your call in, and then or you can put your video on and take yourself off mute.
Can you see me?
You're John's iPad, correct?
Correct. Okay.
There we go.
Hi.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would just briefly like to give my history here at SMS. I've been an owner since 2006. I have gone through a few boards as managing our community. So I've seen quite a bit and experienced quite a bit. Currently, I am displaced, have been since August 5th due to a sewage backup in my bedroom. Was housed in a hotel from August 5th to approximately September 17th. Now I'm in temporary housing. My situation has not been addressed and no repairs have been done. So I can understand and relate to the homeowners and renters that were displaced due to the steps being condemned. I have 25 years experience in customer service and management. I am very efficient in time management, multitasking, and meeting deadlines. I'm also a volunteer for nonprofit and a caregiver for a veteran, and I work a full-time job. So I'm able to juggle all of these volunteer and responsibilities. With my 25 years of customer service and management experience, I've been an executive assistant to the president of a subdivision developer. So I am familiar with real estate laws and, being involved with real estate attorneys, codes enforcement, the permit process, been to zoning hearings. I've also worked for a company that provided excavating, tree service, and retention basin for individuals, residential homes that had problems with flooding and whatnot. I was the office manager there. I scheduled the jobs and the crews, tracked the project progress, and all of the administrative office duties. I am currently a notary public and issuing agent of PennDOT. I'm appointed by the Secretary of State to serve the public. I'm also an office manager for Gibbons Fast Tag. I undergo yearly state police criminal background checks. That's mandated by PennDOT in order to maintain my issuing card as an agent. And we are upheld to the strictest confidentiality standards. My office was on the verge of being shut down. I have revamped it, organized it, and now we are profitable. I also wanted to talk about some of the things that I would like to see implemented. One of the first things that I would like to see happen upon being a member of elected into the board of members is a forensic audit. That will allow us to know what budgets we can work with realistically. I think it's imperative. We need to know what our financials really look like. I'm sorry, excuse me. I have allergies and I'm in my condo, which, it's overwhelming here. We need to establish policies and procedures. When I incurred my loss, there are no processes in place. Depending on the type of loss, First Services, our management company, would need to be contacted along with my homeowner's insurance. And if it involves another unit, they would also have to contact their homeowner's insurance. And inspections are then done by the adjusters, and then it's determined who is responsible for the loss.
Okay. Francesca, 30 seconds.
Okay, so another thing I want to establish is board accessibility. And I think that could be done by anytime First or management company is contacted, the board of directors get an instant email, regardless if they call into the hotline or call in to the management company or if there's an email sent out. I have worked very diligently. I have contacted a commercial roofer who's conducted satellite imaging. Drone footage has been taken. There are equipments up on the roof currently. I've also contacted an insurance agency that's prepared to provide risk management.
That's time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Gerald Butcher? Fine. Gerald, let me see if I can find your call in. I don't see it. Jerry, are you there? Oh, there we go. Jerry, you're on mute. Why don't we go to Gerard Beatty, and then Jerry will come try and get back to you.
Good afternoon. My name's Gerard Beatty, running for the board. I've been living at Spring Mount Summit for over 10 years, and I've been in construction all my life. I've been an electrician for 45 years. I've worked in other trades. I've done a lot of commercial work, industrial work, nuclear work. I have an expansive knowledge of construction and how things are built and put together. And so I have a pretty good knowledge of how this place works, the heating systems, the plumbing systems. So I think my qualifications in construction and my knowledge that I would work very well on this board, helping to maintain and keep up with the basic maintenance and the improvements that we need so desperately. I think I'd be a very good asset working with the other candidates here who bring other specialties to the board as far as, treasuries and the other items. So just looking for your vote. I'm looking to take care of our neighborhood and try to stop the falling mortgage rates that we have. The investments that we have here in this neighborhood are dwindling fast, and I'd like to put a stop to that. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much, George. Jerry's trying to get back on. Let me just see if I can get him here. He's trying to connect to the audio. I'll go to Kelly Horan. I think you're still on mute. There you go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Kelly Horan, for those of you who don't know me. I've owned 4021 Forest Lane since February of 2010, and since 2013, I've actually been renting to a wonderful couple, the Boggses. So I'm sure, by now, you guys have all read the candidate sheets, and mine was lengthy and embarrassing. And you've kind of already made up your minds, either by submitting your proxies already, or just have a thought as to, who you want to vote for. So, I think I'm going to take my 5 minutes a little bit different. And, instead of talking about myself, I just kind of want to share with you a couple of takeaways that I have from the last month since I decided to run. So the first thing that I realized in all of this is how little I actually knew as to what was going on. Clueless. We could all easily, myself included, could easily point fingers. Maybe it's the board's fault. Maybe it's First Service's fault. Inconsistent communication. Anything along those lines. But that's a cop-out. I'm just as much to blame as anybody else. Because it's my responsibility as an owner to educate myself as to what I can and can't do. It's my responsibility to ask the questions or find out if I'm getting the appropriate information. I was pretty much completely resolved to just kind of sitting back. And that's not something that's okay. So regardless of how any of this ends up, whether voted or not, I'm just kind of letting you guys know that transparency and communication is 100% necessary. And it's something that I think we are lacking. And it's something that I think that if you're not getting it as a resident, as an owner, and as a realtor, it's something that you need to demand. So, I want to empower everybody to kind of take that stance. Secondly, the building is not much better than it was 10 years ago. Stairs have been condemned. We've talked about it. Corey mentioned it. Units are getting water. There's a lot of missteps, and, that dilapidation and the inability to get mortgages because we're high risk. It's forced some cash sales, and it's definitely plummeted our cash values. And that's something that everyone that I've talked to that's currently running wants to fix. Let's protect those investments. I commend the increase in reserves, but now it's a question of let's put our money where our mouths are and make those adjustments. Lastly, the one thing I really want to kind of talk about is just, yes, we can make repairs to the exterior and the roofs and things like that. But we really have to make repairs internally within the community. I have witnessed some slander and negativity and just stuff that is, it's hard to watch. It's very toxic. And if we can't rebuild those relationships within the community with each other and with vendors that, we use with the township, there is absolutely no way that SMS is going to get back on its feet. So, ultimately, accountability is going to be key. And we need to hold each other accountable. We need to hold the board accountable, but we also need to be able to hold ourselves accountable. And I've met a lot of these people that are currently running, and I can let you know that their intentions are good and they want the best for the community. And they are qualified in the fact that they have the desire to volunteer for something that is incredibly thankless and takes them away from their families and just their lives in general. So I want to thank you guys all for doing that. I want to thank you guys for coming to the meeting, because that also shows that you too want the best for the community. So that's the first step in transparency and consistency. And I just want to thank you guys all for the time.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get Jerry on. Jerry, still says you're connecting to audio. I'm not sure if you can hear me. We can't hear you. Is Michelle Nab on? Is Michelle on? Francesca, is Michelle on this call? Do you know? You're on mute.
Michelle is not here with me, so I'm not sure. Not sure. She may be having problems connecting. We can send her a text.
Yeah, just section. Just let me know if she's on.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna put you back on mute. And Thomas Stoneman.
I don't, because he put game. Because I got it on the.
Okay, so I don't believe that, Jerry. We can't hear you, Jerry. You're still connecting.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you on mute. Hold on. Okay. So Jerry, we can't hear you. Michelle is not on, and Thomas not on.
Hello.
He can't hear
I'm on. Hello.
Jerry, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually on somebody else's iPad because.
So Dave can tell him.
Are you on Lisa's iPad?
Across the street, you don't have his number. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I'm on Lisa's iPad.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. Wanted to take a little bit different approach. Hopefully, everybody's had the opportunity to read my bio, and so really, what I think we need, as far as our leadership's concerned, is a leader. And a leader doesn't put others down or do things for themselves to feel better, but instead they lift up others to make that person feel better and achieve their goals. A leader doesn't have to be the smartest person in the room, but rather has the ability to recognize that they have those that do have certain abilities and help them so that the team, or in this case, the community, succeeds. Also, as a leader, he has the ability to analyze the problem or issues at hand and the ability to prioritize them and then attach them and lead those people and keep them focused on the mission at hand. Bottom line is we need strong leadership I'm willing to do whatever's necessary. I think I've mentioned before, but I have been a member of this community. I've been an owner for 40 years now. I think it's imperative that we use the leadership that's in our community and the talents that are in our community to make it the community that it can be. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much. Michelle is on now. Michelle, I'm gonna go to you in 1 moment. Hi, Michelle. We can see you, and can you hear us? Michelle, can you hear us?
Now I can.
All right. So you have 5 minutes to talk about why you like to run for the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was busy with a crash. I'm just interested in the transparency. I can't deal with paying these $491 condo fees and nothing's being done, especially finding out that there was some money misappropriated. So anything I could do to save this community would be absolutely wonderful. Otherwise, it sounds like we have a good set of candidates, Kelly, Gerard, the other Gerard, and Francesca, and they've been going to bat for everybody. I know they've put in tireless hours of energy, and I just wanted to be on the ballot to make sure that if they needed another positive soul to go in the right direction or any honesty, I was on the ballots.
Anything else you'd like to add, Michelle?
No, thank you, sir. I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have gone through the agenda. We've gone through the candidates. I don't know if Corey is still on. It's Tom. Okay, so Thomas Doman is on. My bad. I'm going to turn your video on. There we go. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for sending me the note. So you have 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure everyone on here knows me, and I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. I've been on the board a few years now. When I got on the board, it was in the red, going through some issues. We got out of the red. We had a nice reserve until this emergency hit us, and I would like to stay on the board only to see the end of this trouble. Corey actually explained most of the problems that we've had, and I'm embarrassed myself for being bamboozled by a contractor, and it hurts me myself to be in that situation. But most of you folks know me. The ones that are not on this Zoom call, they know me too. And if you'd keep me on the board, I'd appreciate it. If you feel that a new regime is in order here, then God bless them. And obviously, most of you know that it's a futile effort to try and do your best around here. And well, that's about all I really need to say. But the bottom line is, Corey, Dave, and I like to remain on the board and take on some new members. And I do agree that there are a couple nice candidates, a good experience that they've explained to us, and I'd be proud to work with them. First Service has been very good to us, and I appreciate their efforts on our behalf to get us out of the red and into the black. So thank you, everyone, and everybody take care and be safe.
All right, thank you, Tom. So we've been through this part. I don't know, Tom, so you're on. I don't know if Corey's still on. We really don't have any more to the agenda. We would like to open it to questions. If you can go to the chat room and put a question in. My only thought is that it's I'm not sure if Corey's on or if Tom's still on from a board perspective, but it would just be me, Rebecca, and David, and I'm not sure that we can provide all the all the answers that you might need, but we definitely would like to answer that. So if you have a question, please put it into the chat, and we would certainly like to address it the best we can. And if we can't, we would definitely get back to you with it. Anybody have any questions for the chat?
Yes, there's one in there from Eileen.
Okay, so how did the board not know the roof was not repaired yet paid for it? Again, we don't have the members of the board on, and so I'm not sure that we could answer that question. But I believe that I think what Corey had said earlier was that the board is, I think he might have said there is litigation, but I believe they're considering litigation against the contractor that put the roof on and also did some work on the steps, but not to anybody's satisfaction. So again, I don't know that there's a suit filed yet against the contractor. I do know that there's been some discussions with the attorney about doing that. I know there's been a demand letter that has been sent to that vendor, and really I don't believe there's any significant response that's been received, if any response. So that's all I can answer on that right now. But certainly something that not only this board but also the future board is one of the first things that they're going to have to deal with and understand, what the contractor did, what needs to still be done, and what that cost is going to be to try and collect that money. One of the most important things that we've recommended is no matter how you move forward, that an engineer needs to be involved in the process. And the engineers involved now has been working on specifications in order to get the roofs done right. They've inspected the roofs, and there's definitely the work was not done appropriately. Whatever was done was not done to standard, and it needs to be fixed. But the engineer is certainly important to this process because they're going to be the ones that are making sure that the contractor is doing the work that is being done. So bear with me. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so Tom is a board member, and Tom would like to respond to some. So Tom, if you have an answer, that would be great, and then I'll try and get to everybody's question.
Okay. I didn't sign off. It's just I didn't have everything okay to go on this. But there was work done on the oak or the maple building. We knew the oak wasn't done, and we had promises to have it done. But at the time, we were under the impression on the board that the maple building was complete, and we were bamboozled. And the bottom line is there was promises made to get the steps done and get the oak building done with the roof. And obviously that has not happened.
Okay. We have another question of what percentage of the homeowners are in arrears. I don't have that information available right now, or we don't. If you do have access to the association's web portal, you can look on the financial statement there in the balance sheet. It'll show you the total amount of accounts receivable that's due. But I think, as Corey outlined earlier, there's a process in place to collect the money. The problem is it does take a long time at times, and sometimes you can't collect it. So there is a collection process in place, and I know the board's diligently following that as we are also, because that's one of the most important things. There's nothing more frustrating than being an owner when a fellow homeowner is not paying their association fees. But there has been diligence in trying to collect that money. One of the questions: what steps will be taken by candidates to ensure transparency? I mean, I think that I'm not going to answer for them, but I'll summarize what I think we've heard is that additional or enhanced communication is a key, and that's certainly one that it's very important for everybody. And I think that's critical for the association to understand what's going on, especially when they're grappling with some very difficult decisions with regard to the steps and with regard to the potentially going after the contractor.
Sir, my name is Michelle. Can I speak for a minute?
Sure, absolutely.
My name's Michelle Nab, and I put it in the chat, but there's a lot of questions here. The reason that I'm asking for transparency is I've been here for 16 years, and I feel like just because they didn't have my personal email address that I didn't want to give out at the time, I have not been aware of a lot of the situations that we've been put in. I feel like it's not that hard for us to hold each other accountable, show you guys the bids and the companies that we're dealing with on a daily basis in an email. Just as we're emailing First Residential and Springmount Summit board members, you guys should all be CC'd on it. That's absolutely 1,000% needs to be done from here on out. Even if I'm not on the board, I definitely would like that to be done, or put it in our bylaws.
Thank you. There's a good question here. Also, is why hasn't everyone received proxies? Everyone has been emailed multiple proxies, and I believe that proxies have been forwarded to, dropped off at everybody's door. And we do understand that there are homeowners that rent their units, so those homeowners would have gotten email copies of the proxies. Just to share, we have about 30 people on this call, 30 homeowners on this call, and up to this point, we received about 15% of the amount of votes towards the attaining a quorum, and you need 50%. So we really need, if you haven't sent your proxies in already, to send them in as soon as you possibly can. We're also going to send out another email blast on Monday with additional proxies, and we can even do a phone call blast to all the homeowners to see if they can get their proxies, because we definitely want everybody the opportunity to vote, and we definitely want to have a quorum. The process will be, though, if you think about this, is the way the documents are written is if you have a meeting and you do not attain a quorum, then that meeting ends and you can call another meeting to order. When you do that, then the quorum requirements decrease to make the meeting official. So we really want to try and get more than 50% of the homeowners to send in their votes. So please do that if you can. So bear with me, I'll look and see what other questions we have here. Rebecca, there was a question about who the fifth member of the board right now is, and then, or Thomas, you can add to that the consistency of the board right now.
At this time, I believe it's Corey, Dave, and myself, and Jerry. I thought was volunteering to be a member of the board.
Right. Well, Jerry's running for the board also, so I'm not sure if he was appointed. But the only position that's not up, as we understand, is Corey's. But then there should be one other position. Was that who filled that other position?
Corey is the only one that doesn't run this year. He runs next year. Melanie was temporarily in the spot, resigned from it, and we were hoping that Jerry took an offer to come on the board, and then there would have been two, plus Dave and I.
Okay, so we might have, if Jerry is that filling that position, then his term would stay for another year, and we would have the three board members running. So we'll definitely go through that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's a lot of just supporting other people. This person would be a good candidate.
Hey, Jack, I have a question. May I speak?
Sure, Ryan. Go ahead.
Sure, I'm a property owner of 3532, and I have extensive water damage due to negligence on behalf of the roof in both of my bedrooms. What is the process for me to go about having the HOA come to do repairs? From my understanding, I'm responsible for the walls on the inside of my property, but it's due to the negligence of the HOA that my property continues to get damage. I have extensive mold, and my home is almost uninhabitable at this moment. What actions can I take, and what is the HOA willing to do to help those property owners who are running into the same situation?
It's a great question, so I'll answer that. I'm going to get Rebecca to jump in too, but not only yours coming from the roof down. There's been a number of issues with the sewer backups. So, So consider a couple things. If the leak is coming from the roof, in theory that would be an association responsibility. So either way, you need to reach out to Rebecca Sarnice as soon as possible, and she'll help you through that process. They might have to submit that through the association's insurance, and I'm telling you that when that happens, it slows down the process, which is not good. If you do have an issue with the sewer backing up, not just you, but anybody else, it could literally be that it's your toilet or some type of lateral to your unit. If it's the association's common area, then the association would be responsible. But either way, you should reach out to management. Then we would send a plumber out in those cases to figure out if it's an association issue or if it's a homeowner issue. The biggest problem with these is they do take time, and they're always significant issues with any kind of leak from your ceiling or even coming through your pipe. It just takes time to get these insurance people sending an adjuster out, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not the easiest process to navigate, but it's something that has to be addressed as soon as possible. But let us know. I know we have a few of them that are still out there that have been hopefully resolved with checks coming any day now to get the repairs done. So Ryan, hopefully I answered your question. Please reach out to Rebecca if you could.
Brian, what's your address again?
3532, ma'am. Okay,
thank you. I appreciate it.
And also, my sliding door. I feel like that's a gray area. Is that the HOA's responsibility or the homeowner?
I'm not sure I can answer that right now. Why don't you reach out to Rebecca? Just because we want to make sure we give you the right answer. Sliding doors are a lot of times the homeowner, but I'm not really sure right now. But
It is. It's the homeowner for windows and doors.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Ellen Britton, 1111. I also have the same problem. It's not the wall coming from the roof that's causing the damage inside our unit. It's damage to the porch up above us. And that has been probably 3 years ago. They were supposed to seal everything, and it was never done. So that needs to be known.
Okay. So then that would be, just in theory, that's a homeowner to homeowner responsibility potentially, or maybe an association issue. That's where you got to really dive into the documents.
With all due respect, Jack, no, that is not. The porch is not the homeowner's property. The porch is part of the association.
Right. So the
crack is caused by the porch. It's not a homeowner to homeowner situation.
Gotcha. Okay, Ellen. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you please let it be known to everybody that you send the proxies out that it's not advisable to send anything through the mail on Monday, that it is advisable to send it by email, because if the deadline is Wednesday, it's not, the post office is not going to be able to get the mail there that quick.
Yeah, we would appreciate via email also. That would be, so thank you so much. Someone asked if Dave Del Ciato, was on the call. He said earlier that he could not make it.
he had a family emergency that he could not be available.
Yeah, a couple other people have put through here that they do have a water issue. Again, if you do, please reach out to Rebecca, and we want to get these issues dealt with as soon as possible. So bear with me. I'm going to go through all this chat real quick. There's a lot of opinions on here on a few things, but I want to make sure I'm catching all the questions. I don't see any other questions. How about if I give you another minute if you want to pop a question in there? And we have one other. Bear with me for 1 second. Mr. or Ms. Ferrante, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Yep. Hi, my name is Marco DiGirolamo. My wife and I, we own 2311, and we rent it out. And a lot like Kelly said, I really haven't been paying attention to what this is going on, out of sight, out of mind. I can tell you this, that I'm very disappointed in what's going on here. It seems like this entire complex needs to be evaluated, because it doesn't seem like it's just a stair issue and a concrete issue and a plumbing issue and an electrical issue and this and that and that. I'm wondering, is there anybody who has any clue as to any aspect of these things that looks at this? I mean, First Service, do you have people that know about these things and that can do own inspections before there's a point where there's something is broken, like a preventative maintenance or anything like that?
Yeah, Tom, maybe you can answer a little bit. I'll just interject really quick. The community has aged. There's a number of years behind it. There's a lot of issues that come up with leaks, with regard to sewer and water lines, that type of thing. So there's a lot of issues that have come up over the years that have been addressed. It just keeps happening. It could be just the age, and there's definitely an infrastructure review that needs to be done on the water and the sewer. But Tom, you want to add anything to that? I know there's been a lot of looking into these situations, and I know there's been a lot of things that have been dealt with too. So,
well, just before Tom speaks, I'd just like to say that it seems like there's incompetence if you're paying somebody to do a roof and the job was never done. It doesn't, that's complete incompetence. Isn't that the job of the board? Isn't that the job of First Service to look at these things and make sure that the work is being done?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the responsibility of the board, and management has some responsibility too. Also, again, understand there's a lot that's been taken care of. A lot is with age, and quite frankly, as we've all kind of said on this call today, a lot of it's a big issue with one contractor that was that did not perform.
Well, we can't. Yeah, I understand that, but we can't blame it on the contractor. If he's crooked, he's crooked. That's fine, but somebody's got to be watching these guys. Look,
yeah.
I've been in the trades my whole life. I've been an electrician for 30 some odd years. I'm presently an electrical inspector and a plans examiner. I do inspections in your townships and lots of other ones. And we have to, there has to be some responsibility from the board and from this company. And it seems like it's been lax up to this point.
Appreciate what I want to just add to that, and we have two other questions. I think your point is well taken. Is the issues that the association is facing require an engineer. Like First Service doesn't have an engineer; it's a third party engineer that's qualified to look at that. And that just think of this though. That's what's happening with the roofs. That's what's happening through the whole process with the steps, and that will also maybe not an engineer, but a high level certified plumber looking at the sewer issues. So those are the big issues that are that everybody's aware of and have to be addressed going forward. One of the other things, if someone asks if they can drop the proxy off to our office, yes, you can. We're over in Collegeville, and the address is on the directed proxy, so you can drop that off, or you can send it. So please.
Jack, this is Francesca. May I speak for a moment?
Sure. Do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to provide some information on what I have done up to this point and information that I have received from a local company that installed the water system piping for the borough.
But Francesca, if you tell us that story, there's about probably 7 or 8 or 10 other people that can do that. I think the important thing is that the questions that are asked are answered, and then
Okay. Well, I have some.
You have the election.
Some of the questions.
If you get on the board or provide us with that information, I think that would be great.
Well, how about, can we allow the members that are online right now, if they would like to hear what I have to say?
I mean, you had 5 minutes to understand your candidacy, and I mean, I think.
Well, it's in response to some of these questions.
Right, but I mean, again,
regarding the roof and our piping system, and
again, I'm gonna interrupt you just because we've kind of addressed it, and there's a lot that has to be happening going forward. That's one of the things I think you have some great candidates here, and you have board positions that are open. So I think that'll be some great discussions for the new board. Hopefully,
well, it's addressing some of these questions.
Right, but got you.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any other specific, just a question?
I'd like to make a comment. This is Jocelyn. This meeting is clearly being super tightly controlled for a reason, but we usually have pretty much as much time as people want to have to ask questions and have questions be answered. I think it's telling that we have a board member who dropped off the call already and is avoiding answering questions. But I did want to share, just for a degree of context, I did serve on the board with the gentleman who are currently still on the board and resigned the board position because of them not enforcing contracts. And it's really very upsetting to me, the way things transpired and how a contract was allowed to go for years without being enforced. And I think the job of the board, of anybody who is voted for, who is nominated in, has to be to maintain oversight on contractors, regardless of any relationship that exists with that contractor. So unfortunately, I was chastised for trying to have some degree of understanding of what the situation was with the roof, discovered that no permit was pulled on the roof, discovered that the roof wasn't done, and all I got from my compatriots on the board was, disdain. So I dropped off the board because I did not want to be associated with the board any longer. So it's very upsetting because there's a lot of negativity flying around driven by certain people, and it's quite unfortunate because we're in not good situation right now, and we can get out of the situation, but it's crucial that people who are elected to this board enforce contracts no matter what the relationship is with the contractor. And that's really all I need to say.
Thank you. All right. So I think I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, we have 30 people. Please send in your proxies. We want to get as many people to vote as possible. Send them via email to Rebecca. If you send them email to Tamara, we're still getting those emails, and we'll monitor that. And then all the information that we get from your proxies are going to be sent to the association's attorney, and we'll send that to him as soon as we get it by 5 o'clock on Wednesday. And then hopefully we have a quorum. We get to that 50%. If we don't, we might have to have another meeting. And then as soon as the meeting is, we get a quorum is when everything will be official. But we'll send, as soon as we come to Wednesday at 5 and we have the number that we have, we'll drop an email to all the homeowners advising if we received the quorum or not. And if we have, then the attorney will validate everything, and we'll have all the answers to who won the election by Friday. If not, we're going to have to have another meeting to obtain the quorum. So please send your votes in. But thank you so much, and I hope you have the rest of the.
Hold on 1 second before you end this. There was a question that I posed that wasn't answered. Why were the owners not notified about the steps being condemned and everything else that's going on around there? The owners were never notified. I actually sent, by First Residential, I sent emails in asking what was going on with it. The owners should know everything that's going on with our money. Okay, this building is our building. We own it. Yet nobody let us know what was going on. And I would like to know why First Residential, A, didn't notify us as soon as they knew, and B, wouldn't answer any emails regarding what was going on.
I don't know about your specific question. Thank you for asking that question. I don't know about you specifically and what you received. I know there was a lot of correspondence and communication with homeowners, especially the ones who were being affected by this issue. As soon as it happened, I will tell you the one thing that happened immediately was hiring an engineer to be able to fix the problem, and then advising those homeowners of the issue immediately. So, but thank you. And if you have a specific question, please reach out to Rebecca. So. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend, and really sincerely appreciate you being on this call. Thank you.
Take care.